It's already December, and you might have promised yourself that this year might have been different. You had maybe goals, maybe you even wrote it down about all of your resolutions that you wanted to fulfill. And now you look at the date and it's already December. It's already the end of the year. What happened? Life happened. Maybe you got off track, and the voice that's at the back of your head will keep saying you've already failed. And I think it's really, really common for a lot of people to not stick to their sort of New Year's resolutions and any sort of commitment that they make to themselves. And it got me wondering. It made me start to think, why is this the case? But I want to firstly say that failure isn't the end. It's part of the process. And even being able to think of a goal to stick to in the first place takes a lot of courage. Okay? Because it means that you set yourself a target, which means that at one time in your life, probably in the new year, you thought you could achieve it. And that's good, because that's step one done. Because a lot of people, they don't even imagine they could even set any goal for themselves. They kind of wallow away within their own mind. They might overthink, and then they don't have much self-esteem to sort of live up to the goal that they really want to achieve, or even think about actually. So it's okay if your plans didn't work out. It's okay that it's the end of the year already and you still have another, I think, 20 something days left of the month from the time of uploading. So you can still turn this year into something special and sort of get a head start into next year, 2025. So I think we should probably start off by talking about why plans fail, especially with New Year's resolutions. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of studies as well and surveys that a lot of people abandon their resolutions. I mean, I hear it all the time. I'm sure you do too. A lot of people sort of think that life is a bit too easy when they set these expectations. And it can be, depending on the mindset, right? Because the thought process comes first. But yeah, again, life is unpredictable. We're all human at the end of the day. So we're gonna kind of get overwhelmed. We're gonna be maybe busy juggling work, family, your health, whatever factors that you got going on to yourself, right? And the thing is, when you kind of set yourself goals and when you kind of start to really become hopeful to some degree, you start to really get your sort of dopamine like rush when you start to think. Like, someone might have said to themselves, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire in 2024, I guarantee it. It's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you feel special and wonderful, because you saying that, like, to your brain, it acts as if it's already achieved it. And so you're going to get a rush of endorphins. You're going to get these really, really good feelings and that kind of like a high. But people don't really talk about the sort of coming off that high, that dopamine rush of discussing or even setting goals, because you have to start somewhere. And starting somewhere after that crash of dopamine, it's going to be really, really hard to start, because your mind state is in a completely different environment than to the point where you start your sort of initial end goal. And so maybe you aim too high. You might have tried to change way too much in such a short amount of time, and even underestimating how long real progress takes. I mean, success in any industry for some people can even take up to 10 years, maybe even longer. 10 entire years. I don't think you understand how long that is. Like, that's like 10 years ago was 2014, and look at how much has changed since then. So don't be completely derailed by, again, 1 year in the grand scheme of things. And it might in the moment feel like a lot, but again, within the whole sort of time span of your entire life, it's okay. So don't beat yourself up too much, because it's not going to bring you anywhere. It's just going to make you feel worse about yourself, and it's just going to kind of belittle you in a way. It's going to really, really make you feel like crap. And we don't want to do that, because any kind of improvement or goal setting that we give to ourselves, we should do it kindly, and we should do it in a way that we can actually stick to it. Now, again, everyone's motivations are different. Some people work better when they're more angry. Some people become too clouded when they're angry. So for a lot of people, sometimes they get success from different kind of motivation, and so plans can fail, but you don't have to. And the thing is, I don't know where the culture of New Year, New Me kind of came from. I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? Because it's an entire new year. Which, personally, actually, you know what? Off topic, right? But I feel like the new year should start in March because it's like the beginning of nice weather, the plants start to come and start to grow. And it's just, I don't know, I just feel like March is a much better time than January. January feels too wintry to make it a new year. And February is pretty much one of them similar kind of wintry months, so I don't know. But anyway, you can set goals at any day or time of the year. We tend to do it at the end of the new year, at the end of the sort of year, because it just feels normal. It's what we've kind of conditioned to sort of do for ourselves. And we give yearly recaps, which I don't think is the best thing to do, because if you're trying to continually make progress, you should be giving yourself reviews on a weekly, if not monthly basis, or quarterly basis. It just makes a lot more sense because you can keep track, you can monitor sort of data behind yourself and really see what's working well and what's not working well. Why wait till the end of the year? And again, if this is something that you haven't started throughout the entire year, why are we waiting till the end of the year to reflect on that when we could have had multiple opportunities to do it throughout the year? So don't be too disheartened. Just really remember that usually plans fail because they're too rigid. They're not sort of in the flow of your own life, because some goals you're gonna need to have a really, really big level of flexibility with. So for example, we'll use the common, I'm gonna start going to the gym and training 7 days a week for the new year. Firstly, you've set yourself a goal to go and train every single day of the week, prior to you not training at all. That's pretty rigid. So much rather, why would you not say, you know what, I'm gonna train on the days that I feel like it. That could be 1 day a week, that could be 1 day every fortnight. Speaking of which, I think the new season of Fortnite has come out. Oh, like the OG map. So I need to give that a go. But from that, you can pretty much start to really adapt, because you've built confidence to go 1 day a week or once every fortnight, and then now you can start to do 2 days and then 3 days. And if you measure that every single month, you can start to make consistent progress. And by the end of the year, you're going to be at the point to maybe, if you really desire, 7 days of exercise a week. But people don't think long term. We're too busy, again, within that sort of dopamine rush of setting goals, that we forget to realize that we have the entire year to break this down into. So write it into achievable steps. If you're going to say you're going to go to the gym, maybe your goal is just to go to the gym once and then come back to it at the end of January. And then kind of reevaluate, see how you sort of felt about going to the gym once a month, once a week. Is that manageable? Is that not manageable? How can we really make this better? Do I like it? How can I make this fun? How can I make this good? And how can I make this to a point where I don't have to punish myself for going? Because a lot of people, when they start to set healthy goals for themselves, they always start on the wrong track, man. Like, they'll just eat a bunch of bland food. They'll just do a bunch of boring training workouts and then complain, or at least get confused when they give up. So try not to do that, okay? Make everything challenging as fun as possible, because it's going to be much more easier to do so. Because those small wins are going to build so much momentum, man, to the point where it's like, it's crazy. I mean, obviously at the beginning it's small steps, but after a few months or so, you're going to be a completely different person. And that's why sometimes when you sort of miss 1 day or 1 week of whatever it is that you're trying to set yourself to do, it doesn't erase your effort, because you've already made progress. Small milestones, yeah, but there's still a milestone nonetheless. Better than giving up, right? And sort of every time you want to kind of really stick to something, really create the biggest purpose of the why. Now, I feel like this is the biggest sort of hindrance that people have, because when people have a big enough why, or at least purpose to what they want to do, nothing stops them. Like, all your energy is just into what your why is and your purpose, and you just forge on forward like an absolute machine, because you're desperate for it, right? So you're gonna be like completely surrounded by everything related to that goal. But that's gonna be a little bit harder to do. So I'd say small manageable goals, and really think about why. How would it make you feel at the end? What are you gonna do when you get to that level? and what kind of character can it build along the way. And anytime you sort of feel like giving up or whatever it may be, any kind of hurdle or challenge along the journey, you can just look back at that note or message that you write to yourself, and you can keep on reflecting to that. So you kind of really ingrain it into your head. And again, like I said, you can use notes on the wall, say it to yourself before bed, just really keep sort of telling yourself why you started. And then over time you'll start to realize that opportunities, or at least it becomes a lot easier. So stick to it. And there you go, you've cultivated a growth mindset. You've stayed hopeful, you've recalibrated your goals, you've focused on consistency rather than speed, and now you can win the game. You might have been down 0-1, but now you can keep going round by round and win the game. That was a terrible analogy, but nonetheless. Anyway, I hope that helps. Peace and blessings be to you all, and I will see you in the next one.